Hello everyone, I'm Atakan Büyükoğlu and this is my project for EE 102 course, the digital design course. So in this course I implemented a project where I have written a game by connecting a monitor to a basis 3 FPGA and then connecting a keyboard and then communicating these two by using the FPGA. So this game is a basic implementation of the board game Risk, where there are two players competing each other to own the whole region. So in this game, the main aim is to capture the other player's capital, and capital is one extra thing I introduced in addition to the Risk game. So the red player's capital is here and the blue player's capital is here, and red player tries capturing the blue capital and blue player tries to capture the red capital. So the red capital has controls WACD and WASD, and these are used to move around. For example, here the red players move around like this, and then this first phase is the phase to add troops to his regions. So for example, I press 3, so there are 3 troops to add here. So space is the activation button for red. I place 3 troops here by pressing the space button. And then each player has a maximum of 4 units to place in each reinforcement phase. So for example, I press 6, but only 1 troop appears because that's the maximum number now. So I press space and add it. And then the second phase is the attacking phase. In this phase, the red player captures other provinces, other regions that he doesn't own right now. So for example, I choose 3 troops here and move them to here to capture this region. For example, I choose 3 and then move here, and then it's captured. So for example, I move on to the next phase by pressing Q. Q is the end phase button for red. And then the third part of each turn is the relocation phase. So in this part, I'm able to move my soldiers in my regions. For example, I will move 1 soldier from here to there. So I press 1 and then I press W twice to move here. But before that, I will press the activation button to say that I chose this one. So I move 2 up and then press the activation button again, and the soldier is relocated. And then I end my turn. The same things apply for blue, so I will do the same things. So for example, I add all 4 soldiers to, by the way, the movement buttons are I, J, K, L for blue. So for example, I add all 4 soldiers to here. Activation button is red, activation button is enter. And then, for example, I chose to attack here with all 5 troops. And then press enter and they are moving here. And actually, there's one thing about Risk. In the normal game Risk, you cannot attack when you have 1 troop, and for example, when you have 5 troops, you cannot attack with more than 4 troops. So for example, I choose to attack with 9 troops, so it appears only 4 here, because I cannot attack with all 5, because there should be at least 1 soldier protecting this region. So I attack to I take to one more location, enter and L to move here, and then I will, for example, relocate 2 soldiers here. I forgot to press enter. Okay, so 2 soldiers selected and then move here. So I will play some and continue after that. So I played the game for some time, and actually it takes long time to reach to the mid game. So in this part I will talk about the attacks. I mean, not the neutral regions, but the attacks between the 2 players. And then I will talk about some like design process parts in which I'll explain how I draw all of these. For example, there are 960 different locations for these squares, and I draw only some of them, so I'll explain all of these. So in the attacking phase, for example, here it's in the second part, so it's attacking phase. For example, here are 5 red squares, so there are 5 soldiers, and here are 3 blue squares, so there are 3 soldiers. So if I select 3 red soldiers and then attack the blue region, here blue wins, and this is because of that there are 3 soldiers in each region, and I define the attacking as following. Each side loses the same amount of soldiers, and if they are equal, the defender always wins. So the region is controlled by the defender. And then, for example, here red has less soldiers than the blue, and we can select at most 2. So I choose an arbitrary large number, and 2 is chosen. And then I select them and attack this region, and 2 soldiers are lost from each side. And then, for example, I come here and choose an arbitrarily large 9 number of soldiers. So here 5 soldiers are chosen, and there are 4 defending soldiers. So red should win because 5 is bigger than 4. So 1 soldier should move here, and red should win the fight. So I choose them and then attack here. So now the region is controlled by the red, and we can see it from both of these squares. And all of the 3 different attacking strategies are seen here. So the game is this, and now I will talk about some parts about the code. So how I draw this is this simple. I create a signal which is an array, and I just write the number of troops and then send it into a module which draws all of these according to these numbers. And when I do some attacking or some moves, all I do is I change these numbers, and then this is a parallel array that holds the colors. For example, 001 means blue, so it draws this part, and 100 means red, and it draws this part. This is because of that the first bit is the red value, the second bit is the green value, and the third bit is the blue value. So for example, other parts where there are no soldiers are chosen as 111, so we should see white color there, and actually that's what we see. For example, I choose 1 soldier from here and then attack here, but before attacking we see that this region is neutral, so it's white, and it's actually due to this. This array has 111 in this part. So my project is this. Like all other parts are set as integer. So actually, this is not the object-oriented way of designing, but it's an imitation of the object-oriented design, I think. Like in Java, we create like arbitrary objects, and here instead of holding pixels, I hold them as integers or other bit signals, like just one bit signal to draw all 4 soldiers here, for example. And that's it. By the way, I will upload all of the codes I used for the project as a link, but I will do that in a few days. And thanks for watching.